All right, let's ask a question that should give every corporate landlord a terminal case of the night sweats. What's the real, actual bottom line price of trying to screw over one single tenant?
Well, for a corporate Goliath like Brookfield, the answer might just be fucking everything. Because this isn't just a story about a broken air conditioner. Oh no. This is a story about how one man might just burn a multi-billion-dollar empire to the goddamn ground.
So let's set the scene, shall we? In this corner, we have our protagonist, an ordinary tenant we'll call Detective Allen. And in the other corner, his landlord, Brookfield, a soulless real estate juggernaut with a cool $140 billion in assets. They are, in no uncertain terms, the landlord who picked the wrong motherfucker to piss off.
Now, every great crime story starts with a broken law. And in this case, it's New York's warranty of habitability. It's a fancy term for a really simple idea. Your landlord is legally required to give you a place that isn't a death trap. It is the lowest possible bar, and as you're about to see, Brookfield couldn't even manage to trip over it.
And this is where it gets good. This is where Detective Allen starts pulling on a thread that unravels a whole goddamn tapestry of corporate fuckery. What started with a broken AC quickly turned into a masterclass in systematic fraud.
First piece of evidence. The AC unit wasn't just broken, it was a straight-up fire hazard. We're talking faulty wiring just waiting for a spark. But here's the absolute kicker. Even when these things were turned off, they were still pulling 9 amps of phantom power. That's not a glitch, my friend. That is theft. And when Allen pointed this out, fucking crickets from Brookfield.
And here's the moment our story goes from a simple dispute to a full-blown conspiracy. He talks to his neighbor. Guess what? Same exact problem. The light bulb goes off. Holy shit, this isn't just my apartment, this is a building-wide scam.
So who's sending the bills for all this phantom electricity they're stealing? A little company called Metergy Solutions. And who owns Metergy? Why, it's Brookfield, of course. You see the beautiful, simple grift here? They install the faulty, power-sucking fire hazards, and then their own company sends you the inflated bill. It's the perfect fucking crime, hidden in plain sight.
Turns out the law has a name for this kind of elaborate bullshit. It's called deceptive business practices. Yeah, apparently it's frowned upon to create a shell game just to fuck people out of their money. Shocking.
Oh, but the electricity scam was just the opening act. Detective Allen kept digging and found a whole symphony of illegal charges. They were hitting people with amenity fees they shouldn't have been paying. They were overcharging for utilities, sometimes in apartments that were completely empty. And when anyone disputed the charges, they'd just send aggressive, threatening collection notices. This wasn't a mistake. This was a business model. Okay, so they got caught red-handed. So what? What's the actual cost of all this? Well, grab your calculators because we're about to do some damage math. And, spoiler alert, the total is a certified shit ton. Let's just look at one building, the Eugene. First, fixing all those fire trap ACs, that's about $3.5 million. Then, for breaking the habitability law, a court could force them to pay back rent to all 700 units. That's almost $17 million. Add in refunds and fines for the utility scam, refunds for the illegal fees, and $1 million in fines from the city for the fire code violations. Well, it adds up quick. The grand total for their greed in just one building, over $28 million. Let that sink in for a second. $28 million. But here's the truly terrifying thought. What if this isn't just one building? Because let's be real, a company this size, this brazen, they don't have one-off scams. They have standard operating procedures. So we have to ask the question, what if they're pulling this same exact shit in their other buildings?
And you know what? Let's be generous. Let's be laughably conservative and assume this level of organized fuckery is only happening in, say, 500 of their properties around the world. Just 500.
You multiply that cost from one building by 500, and you get to $14,075 million. That's billion with a B, as in bent over. That's not just a fine. That is a corporate extinction-level event. And it's all because they decided to fuck with one guy. So after potentially triggering the financial apocalypse for a global real estate empire, what does our hero, Detective Allen, get for all his trouble? What's his big fucking payday look like? Well, to put it mildly, his odds are fantastic. With this paper trail of fire hazards, illegal billing, and blatant scams, his probability of either winning in court or forcing a massive settlement is hovering right around 85%. No company in their right mind would let a jury of New York City renters hear this story. So what does winning look like on a personal level?
Well, you've got two buckets of money. The first is compensatory damages. That's the money to make him whole, about 45 grand. But then you have the punitive damages. That's the please shut the fuck up and go away money. And when you've just uncovered a potential $14 billion liability, a check with a lot of zeros on it isn't just possible, it's pretty much guaranteed. We're talking $2 million, easy.
So you have to understand, Alan isn't just getting a refund for his troubles. He's getting paid for his detective work. He's getting a fat check for exposing their sins to the world. It's a moral victory paid for with millions of dollars of their money.
And all of this really just leaves one last question, doesn't it? That strange little building fee on your rent statement, or that utility bill that just feels a little too high every single month. You still think that's just a typo? Or maybe, just maybe, it's time you started your own fucking investigation.